Yay, we're on. Hi, guys. I am Wendy Robbins, and I am the producer director of Bud Camp and also The Marijuana Show, which is seen on Amazon Prime. 7 million people have watched it last season, 3 million the season before. This season, it's going to be more like 10 million because we'll be on Comcast as well. And it looks like we just sold to Canada and Europe, which is great. But what happened authentically is that people had a lot of questions and we didn't know how to answer them because either we weren't a doctor, a nurse, or an investor. And so we wanted to be able to create a series of classes that were quick, about 10 minutes. And so today I'm really excited. I've got Laura Lagana on with me. And we have tried to do these classes before. And yay, I'm so excited. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Wendy. How are you?
I'm really, really good. So I want to get right to it because we have about 10 minutes, maybe 15 max. So first question that somebody asked is, if my doctor doesn't know about the medical benefits of cannabis, how do I educate her?
Well, that's a great question. Number one, I think it's really important to select a doctor who you can have a partnership with. That is key. We no longer have that pedagogical, relationship with a physician where he's telling us or she's telling us what to do and we just do it. So I think the first thing to do would make sure you have a doctor who you can have that relationship with. That's number one. And I think number two is, you could just do something as simple as, if you've seen an article, bring it to your doctor and just, show it to him or her to enlighten them. Because a lot of doctors aren't necessarily aware of what's going on because many of them only believe that things are true if they happen to medical school. But pretty much any publication that you have locally, whether it's, a little local paper or, a bigger paper like the New York Times or the LA Times or the Denver Post, whatever it is, there are articles constantly, NPR links. It's everywhere. Obviously, I don't think it's necessarily helpful to bring something from a marijuana magazine. Bring something from a mainstream magazine to say, hey, are you aware of this? And, if it's a doctor who's just disinterested, I would say, you could try to speak again or, you find a new doctor.
I agree with you. I also like PubMed.org and I like Google.
Absolutely.
So if you've got cancer, for instance, I would put cancer plus cannabis or CBD. And then if you've got a good relationship, Laura, I really like what you said. If you don't have a good relationship with your doctor, find another one. I mean, it's really that simple. And,
yes.
You want somebody that understands and has access to a lot of different modalities. So good answer. So next is, what are great resources I can share with my doctor so that they can research the medical benefits of cannabis and hemp? And of course, I just talked about PubMed.org, which is really more science-based, a lot of different kinds of articles. Is there anything you use?
Well, sure. I mean, PubMed is excellent. I think there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of organizations that have great information, like Project CBD, the company that, the organization that we run with my colleague Donna, the Holistic Cannabis Academy. We have a lot of information there. I believe that, the good thing about cannabis is there is a lot of good information out there. However, you have to sort of separate it from what is out there that is problematic. So I also think that you really need to find somebody who has had experience with cannabis, and particularly somebody who may have had experience with medical marijuana, because they will have access to that kind of information and they really can help you along. This is definitely an area where having a friend nearby is a good thing. We don't need to go through experiences by ourselves. I know for a lot of us, it's like us and the computer every day, because people no longer have, meetings with real life people. But I think it's really nice to get a cannabis pal.
Yeah, I do too. Ask for a lifeline, literally. So what is CBD? What is it, and how does it affect your body? And then my next question will be more cannabis based.
So CBD, which is cannabidiol, and it's one of the cannabinoids found in cannabis. So you'll find CBD in both cannabis, which contains THC, and which we call marijuana, and also you would find it in hemp. So a lot of the products that you find on the market are actually hemp-based CBD products. And probably the number one function of CBD and the number one reason why people are using it is because it's an incredible anti-inflammatory, just phenomenal. I can tell you stories about my patients and how I use it in my private practice, but people should know that, the government actually has a patent on CBD, so as an anti-inflammatory. So that's a pretty big deal, and that's a pretty big deal to know about that. And if we consider that all chronic disease is inflammation-based, you could see why CBD really has application for almost everybody in the U.S.
Yeah, and can you explain, because some people don't understand exactly what hemp is. They think you can get high from hemp. And essentially you're looking at 0.3% THC, typically no more than that in hemp CBD. But I'm just curious about what else you would have to say for people.
Right. People are so confused because they hear cannabis and they think, oh no, am I going to get high? Cannabis is a plant, and if we think of marijuana as, in the most simplistic terms, as one of the plants under cannabis, and the other one is hemp. Hemp is, you do not get high from using hemp, whether you're using a hemp food, and hemp foods generally have little to no CBD, I should add, and definitely way less, zero THC in it. So you're definitely not going to get high from any hemp foods, and you're not going to get high from using CBD products. What does happen is, because CBD can be really great for anxiety, that's not getting high. That's just feeling better. So I think a lot of times people confuse, what does it really mean to be high? And that's a big thing that I talk about all the time, and I talk about in my practice. Does feeling good mean you're high? So, we're not talking about for a healing application. We're certainly not talking about using cannabis in a way that you would be falling over and falling asleep, or, completely unable to form sentences. We are talking about just feeling better, feeling great. Does that mean you're high? I mean, don't we all want to feel great?
Yeah, then I'd want to be high. I was just looking at conditions that I saw in PubMed. Now, again, I'm not speaking as a doctor. I'm not speaking as a scientist. I'm not the, FDA approved. I'm just letting you guys know what some of the things are it's believed that CBD can help with. And I'm just going to read this: anxiety, chronic pain, arthritis, fibromyalgia, glaucoma, insomnia, depression, cancer, AIDS, nausea, muscle spasms, Crohn's disease, epilepsy, seizures, stress, anorexia, ADD or ADHD, migraine, PMS, and many more things. So I just wanted to say that, again, we're not pretending that we're doctors here on this call, but these are kinds of things that if you suffer